I love the idea of milestones because, it's good that current fans are seeing some of these milestones be hit because, like Tuttle is saying, you don't know if they're ever going to be hit again with the way the game is being played. And to Tuttle's point with a 300-win plateau, how about Craig Kimbrell and 400 saves? We talk about Mariano Rivera and Trevor Hoffman getting 600-plus saves. Now it feels like that 400-save plateau is the one to get to, and Kimbrell currently sits at 371. I believe he's going to get there because he's at a torrid pace. He's young. He's still highly effective. The next guy behind him, Kenley Jansen at 340. So to put things in perspective, I don't think Jansen gets to 400. I just think that he's diminished. How about the 3,000 strikeout threshold? I don't think too many guys are going to get to that because of what Tuttle hinted about earlier with the 300 wins. Guys don't pitch long enough, and the way that they are being used doesn't allow them the opportunity to get to those. Max Scherzer is closest at 2,962. Yes, he will get there.
I think he's going to get there, especially if he keeps pitching the way he did last night.
Yeah,
so
no kidding, dude. Keep
chance.
pumping up. I mean, he's a guy that he's up there as far as games with 10+ strikeouts. He's a guy that's consistently up there. So he will break the 3,000 strikeout plateau. How about the next closest guy? You ready for this? Zach Greinke, 2,798. He's not going to get it.
Oh, he's not.
He's going to need a couple more seasons to be able to go out there. I mean, maybe next season if he can go out, but he'd have to get 200 strikeouts. But in 2 more years, if he's able to do that, he might get there. But he's the next closest at almost 2,800.
Yeah,
those are some milestones going by the wayside.
They are. I think he's got a chance to do it. But I think it's really interesting. Like those plateaus, like I said, those numbers are just going to have to change. I mean, they're not going to have to change.
I agree.
But in terms of the metrics for who's got to do what and what they can accomplish. But it's a fascinating conversation. I mean, to see what guys are going to do. But I think the specialization, as we talked about, has really changed the game in a lot of good ways too, right? I mean, but I couldn't believe the other night I was watching the Dodgers-Padres, and I always want to say Blake Snell. Is that right, or is it Ian Snell? I always screw it up.
Blake.
Thank God. See, I mess it up every time. So Blake Snell was out there, and he went into the 8th inning, and they were winning 1-0. They'd already robbed 1 home run, and he was at pitch 104. This is the point. And the announcers, I think it was Viskurgen, was saying that the next pitch would be that would be the longest he's ever gone in a big league game. Most pitches he's ever thrown, 105.
Wow.
I was like, what? 105 pitches?
That's crazy.
God, in college, they were like 120 was like your mark. Like if you got to 120, they were like, hey, we don't want him to throw more than 125. Let's get somebody, loose, or let's get him through this inning, 127, 128. 105 pitches is the most that Snell has ever thrown in a big league game. I couldn't believe it. And of course, Will Smith hit a home run, and the game went 16 innings, and it was crazy. But gosh, I mean, so the reason I bring that up is the point of getting to 3,000 strikeouts and 300 wins. I mean, if you only throw 100 pitches in a game, that ain't happening. I mean, you got to get back to the Nolan Ryan days. I know he struck out 5,000, but it's like, dude, I've only thrown 138 pitches. You can't take me out. That kind of mentality, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah. No, it's not going to happen. But, hopefully we're doing this podcast long enough so where we can start to see some of these adjustments to the milestone. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell so you can get notified when we post new videos.